Hey everyone, George here with FXCashBuilder.com, and today I want to talk to you about the system that you just purchased from us and walk you through on what each indicator pretty much represents and how we utilize them to trade the currencies on a day-to-day basis. Okay, the first indicator I'm showing you right here on the bottom is a specialized MACD indicator, and this green and blue line that you see right here, that's basically telling you the trend of the currency. Okay, and as you can see, it started way up here, and the trend is basically just slowly moving downward. And as you can see, the trend up here for the candlesticks is going downward. So that's pretty much all that line really is. Same thing for the bars up here, the red and blue bars. It's basically just telling you the I apologize. It's also telling you whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend, and as you can see, all these sticks right here are pointing downward, except for those little bit up here. So as you can see, it was going to try to push upward into an up direction, but there just wasn't enough activity for that, so it just continued into a down direction as well. Okay, so that's pretty much what we do, and we use this in conjunction with this indicator right here. And what this indicator is a specialized stochastic indicator. It's called the stochastic X. And what this indicator does is the red line you see here indicates oversold currency for that time of day. And the reason why it's completely flat on the bottom here underneath the 20 is because it's exhausted that the oversold part of the currency, and once it exhausted to the point um, where it's so flat like that, it basically isn't monitoring it anymore and stuff. And then what these blue dots right here means is that it's getting ready to reverse itself and getting ready to come back up. And as you can see, it did take a little while for it to, but then it came back up, and that's what these green bars are representing, is it coming back up. And so what we do is we utilize this indicator, the stochastic X, in addition with the specialized MACD indicator, to let us know that the currency is trying to move in an upward little direction. Okay, the same thing with up here is once the line would cross over the 80 and stuff, that indicates an overbought currency at that point in the day, and therefore it would eventually have to drop back down. Uh, when the line is just like this, that means the market is staying, pretty, evened out. It's not being overbought or oversold right then. And same exact sample right here. When you see a red dot, it means that it's basically exhausting, being overbought, and it's getting ready to reverse downward. Okay, and then again, you just use it in conjunction with this line to show what it's getting ready to show. And as you can see, when it's coming down here, the uptrend is slowly moving into a downward trend. Okay, so that again, that's pretty much how we utilize those two indicators that are basically just confirming with one another, how the trends are going, and that's pretty much what we do. Now, with the stochastic X indicator, we actually use that as confirmation for when we get another indicator that we use called a harmonic pattern. Okay, and that's what you see right here with the blue shape right here. And then also, let me scroll back and find one with the red shape right here. Now, just so you know, the red shapes mean that the currency is going to go into a downward position for however long. You know, it's hard to determine. Sometimes it's quite a while, and other times it's very short. But that's what the red shape here is for, is to let you know that it's getting ready to reverse the current setup, and it's getting ready to go in the opposite setup. Same thing when you get a blue shape right here, it's just confirm the same thing, that the currency is exhausted going down and it's getting ready to shoot back into an upward position. So you would place a buy trade or a call trade if you're doing like binary options. There's another harmonic pattern. It's basically an ABCD pattern, and sometimes they show up with the harmonic patterns, other times they do not. It just depends on the setups and everything. Um, you know when and where they do not show up. But now when this one does show up, you'll see this like purplish looking line, and then uh, once it hits up here a little bit more and it has like several green candles in a row, then you'll see an arrow to confirm it. Now you don't always have to wait until this happens, okay? pretty much what would happen is you would get a notification of a harmonic pattern. You would go to that currency pair in that time frame that it'll tell you, and then what you would do is you confirm it by seeing a yellow reversal dot. This what this indicator is, a yellow reversal dot. When you see this, that does indicate that the trend of the currency is getting ready to reverse itself. In this case, it would be getting ready to reverse itself in upward direction. Now, what you can do is you could go ahead and place a buy trade. Right when you see it here, you go ahead and place a buy trade. You most likely will probably be in the negative for just a little bit of time. Sometimes they will start off negative, but you do have that guarantee that it will be shooting back up. And as you can see, it did shoot back up. So wherever you would set your take profit line up, all you would be doing is waiting until it got there. Okay. Now, typically on the 15-minute time frame, I always set, depending on the layout at the current time, I will set between a 100 to a little over a 200 take profit. Like I said, this right here, I could set an easy, since I know it's all the way down here in the red zone, I could easily set, anywhere from one to say, 4 or 500 take profit, and I would hit it no problem at all. Okay. Now, another way you can trade um, these setups is with the TSR slope line. You would once you get the harmonic pattern and you get a yellow reversal dot, and it's confirming with you that the currency is getting ready to reverse itself. You would just simply wait for the TSR line to change from red to green. Once that happens, um, then you just go ahead and place your call trade at that point, and then you could ride it, for again, one to however many hundred pips you want to do, or even if you want to play it smart, set it for a 50 pip take profit, and you're pretty much always going to win it unless some news happens and cause the currency to go in the negative. If that happens, as long as you have enough cash in your account, demo or live account. If you have enough cash in it, it will eventually turn around and go back into profit. I mean, I've had trades that have stayed open for several days to over a week at a time just because I would place a trade and then the news would happen. And unfortunately, with the news, you can't really predict, especially if you're already in a trade, how it's going to play out. So the news comes out, especially high impact news. If that happens, then unfortunately, if you place a call trade and it's bad news and it makes the currency go down, if you haven't hit your take profit yet, you could either make the choice to get out of the trade before it went into negative if you're already in the profit, or again, if you have enough currency in your account, just simply let the trade ride out and it will eventually go back up and you'll hit your take profit. It may take a while. It could take a few hours, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, but it will eventually go back and hit. Okay. So we've discussed all those. We discussed those 3 or 4 different indicators: the MACD, the stochastic X, the harmonic patterns, and the reversal dots. That's just some of the ways you can definitely trade here. Another way you can trade is, let me lower this a little bit, is this indicator right here where it's the red zones and then the greenish looking zones. This is what's called the trend bar. Okay, now the way you can do the trend bar, if you just simply want to trade off of that, is you would wait until the currency is down here into the red zone somewhere. Once that happens, and let's say for instance it's in the bottom like it is right here, you simply place a call trade, and you just simply let it keep riding. You could put the take profit somewhere, anywhere up in here in the green zone. I wouldn't put it too far, up. Again, in case news comes out for any reason, you don't want to take the chance on the trade going into negative and staying there for a while. So, I would only set it for a few hundred pips, take profit. Now, there are some traders that will trade off the news and other resources, and they'll simply ride it from one red zone, to another or close enough to the other, and rake in a lot of cash. That's really up to you. It's all about what you want to risk, but this is how we use the system to trade, and basically all the trend bar we use it for is for us to confirm if it's an uptrend, or if it's a downward trend, or if it's a flat trend. Okay, now like let me zoom out. As you can see right here would have been a flat trend. Okay, so in other words, even if the currency is moving up and down, and so the trend is pretty much flat. Okay, it was, in an upward direction here in an uptrend. Then it stayed flat for a good while, and then it went back down into a downward trend, and then it'll reverse itself once again. Okay, and again, that's all we use the trend bar for. So again, like when we come into a pattern like this one right here, where it's a call trade, and the pattern happens all the way down here in the red zone, then we pretty much will take that as, okay, well, that's great, because now that the pattern has come into the red zone right here, then we know we can place a call trade, and we'll definitely be hitting our take profit, because it's definitely going to be shooting upward. It's down here in the farthest part of the trend bar that it can go, and you know we'll be able to set a good decent sized profit and be able to hit it, no problem. Okay. Same thing is, if you get one of the other harmonic patterns, all you have to do is once it hits, just wait for the reversal dot, as well as the TSR slope line to change from red to green, and then you can place your call trade or sell trade depending on the color. Just remember that all sell trades will show up in red patterns, and all the call trades or buy trades will show up in the bluish patterns that you see here. Okay. The other indicator that we have installed, it really doesn't alert you to anything, but it's just basically a candle timer, just to let you know how many more minutes is left or seconds is left for the current candle that you're on. The other indicator that we have installed, that again that does not notify you of anything, is what is called the pipometer, and basically all that does is once you enter the trade, and whether you go positive or negative, it'll tell you how many pips in positive or negative that you are. Um, Lastly, the last indicator that we use is a calendar indicator, and right now, of course, the market is over with because it's almost midnight on Friday, and so there's no more news. Won't be no more news until Sunday night. But what you would do is you would go into the settings, and you could set it to show you all event types, all news event types, or you could only show you low impact news, medium impact news, high impact news, holiday news, um, things like that and stuff. And basically, what I try and do is I try and stay away from trading during high impact news, only for the simple fact is I'm just not a news trader. Okay. I'm still trying to learn how to be one. Yes, but as of right now, I'm not a news trader. But we do have that indicator there for you guys, who do follow currency news. If you make a good killing out of it, you'll know exactly when the news is coming up, which currency pairs to look at, have up on your charts. So when the news comes out, whether it's good or bad, again, what currency to look at, and you'll be able to follow it and rake in some nice decent pip profit, and be happy with it. Now, for people who don't trade the news like myself, it's a good way of knowing, okay, impact news is coming up in an hour. It's for the pound USD dollar, or I'm sorry, for the pound. So therefore, I would stay away from trading on this for a little bit of time, before and even after the news comes, just to so I wouldn't put, like, say, a buy trade, and then the news comes out and it's a negative news, and it'll make my trade go way into the negative for however long it'll be there. Okay. So I believe that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we do thank you for your purchase. If you do have any questions, feel free to send us a message. Also connect with us on Facebook and our members only private group that you have access to, where you downloaded the system from on our website. If you need to get there again, just send us a message and we'll send you the link, to access it, um, and everything, and we'll even add you to the Facebook groups ourselves. That's definitely not a problem as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. The system is a great system. It works. Right here below the chart, you can see some trades I did this Friday. Um, I'm sorry, not this Friday, but this Thursday, the 15th, and also I did some trades Friday as well. And as you can see, it works on every time frame. Now, granted, these are all 15-minute time frames that you see right here, but it'll work on any time frame. And the templates that you'll be installing, we already have this set up for all the templates. And I do apologize. There's one indicator I did forget to mention about. And it's called the support and resistance indicator. Okay, and as you can see here, I'm on the 15-minute time frame, and here's a resistance. Line for the 15-minute, the current resistant line, and then the current um, support line, which is the blue line right here. Now, one thing I will mention, and I do apologize for not thinking about this earlier, is when a harmonic pattern comes in like this, and you have the support line and the resistant line so close together, and it's in a downward trend, I would not place the trade. Only because the fact is, I've done it before where I've gotten happy and I'm like, oh, I'll just take a quick 50 pip profit. um, you know, when the trend is severely downward like it is right here, and the support and resistance lines are so close together like this, it's very easy for you to try to take a 50 pip profit, but before you know it, it's going into the negative and it's staying there for a while. Okay, so my recommendation is when a pattern forms like this and the trend is severely downward like it is here, and the support and resistance lines are so close together like they are right now, I would simply just pass on by that trade. Um, the trades I would take is trades like this right here, because yes, it is approaching, the downward angle, the downward trend, but it will be shooting up a little bit, as you can see that it did here. The other thing too is trades like here when the pattern forms here, you could obviously take a upward trend, and then like for instance when the sell pattern formed here, you could take a sell trade and also win. Okay. Now the other thing too is one method of trading I did forget to mention, and I apologize for that, is when a harmonic pattern forms and you've got the reversal die and the slope changes its colors from red to green or from green to red, and then you place that trade whether it's downward or upward. Um, what some traders do is they will hold that trade until a reversal dot will happen, or if they're using um, another reversal indicator, they'll hold the trade until that reversal indicator populates. Okay, um, that's something good to do. Especially if you're scalping, from a 1 minute time frame or even a 5 minute time frame. Um, that could work real well in your favor in some cases. However, I personally don't do that. I just simply, like I say, depending on the setup, I'll take anywhere from a 50 to sometimes a 300 to 400 pip take profit if I know for a fact that it'll definitely go that high. And I feel a lot safer doing that than waiting around, for a reversal dot or any other kind of reversal indicator to populate. Okay, so again, I hope that goes over everything. Again, if you have any kind of questions, feel free to send us a message and ask us, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, as you can see, it works in different investments, different currencies, different time frames. It's an all-around great system. Um, you know, uh, the system is comprised of multiple indicators, as you can see. We spent a lot of time testing the indicators to find ones that work. We even tested out certain um, um, auto bot programs, that auto trade for you. Uh, we must have tried I don't know how many, and we just did not like any of them. Uh, this system, yes, it does require you to trade manually, but it's a great system. You follow the setups, the way that they're designed, and again, be careful of currency news when it comes out, and you should never have a problem. But if you do, we're there for you. We'll help you if you're having issues with entries or exit strategies. How to look at the chart and know when to get in a trade, when to get out of a trade, things like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know, and we look forward to working with you. Have a great day.